Welcome to Journal, Launching, Selling, Brain Fried.
I thought you were
Day
going to
number
say
7.
Oh, it's day 7.
It's, well, video
lost track.
7. We now have lost track of days because we paused for a week. So
Numbers.
It's video 7. Jason Zook. This is Caroline Zook. We are talking about launching and selling a product, especially a high-value product. It's BuyOurFuture for us. And the reason why I started off a little scrambled here is we have filmed 14 video replies today, which doesn't sound like much at all, but we're going to break down what that's actually meant and how long it's taken. And I think both of our brains are a little bit fried today.
Which is normal. But what we want to share with you in terms of our takeaways from selling a high value product is if you're going to ask somebody to make an investment in you, especially one that for us, BuyOurFuture is a $2,000 product, you need high touch points. And what we mean by that is the ability to not just send an email and just say, hey, here's a buy button, but to say, you can talk to us directly. We can answer your questions directly and things like that. So Jason and I had this idea when we were coming up with this, knowing this, saying, what is a high touch point idea that we can do during BuyOurFuture that might speak to those people that are maybe on the fence? And this idea that we came up with was doing these video replies. So we just think that emails are great, and being able to say, hey, write us back with your questions about BuyOurFuture is great, but a lot of people do that. So how can we do it differently? And we thought, okay, tell us exactly where you want to be 1 year from now, and we will tell you, because we believe so deeply that there are products in BuyOurFuture that will help get you there. And we just knew that if we could... That's another thing that I want to point out too, is not just the high touch point thing, but also recognizing your product and what the missing piece is for people. And we know that BuyOurFuture it's so diverse and there's so many different products that it's very hard for someone to see their story in those products and how to move through them, because it speaks to so many different people at different parts of their journey.
And let's be honest, people don't need 31 products.
Yeah, so you need a handful.
It's specifically about identifying where they are in their journey and saying, oh, here's the 4 things that you need. And interestingly enough, it's shown us that, all of our products do have value, but it's value for different people at different places. So selling BuyOurFuture as all of the stuff can be paralyzing to someone who's looking, going, yeah, but how does all this help me? In these video replies, we asked people specifically about where do you want to be a year from now. We asked them a couple other questions. And the responses that we got back, I think, were really illuminating for people just in writing those replies.
Yeah.
And then we hopped on just like this. So I kind of kept the setup the same so we could show you exactly how it looked. And we basically just spoke directly to them and to the problems that they brought up. We did some creep stalking, as we called it.
So that's why all of these
website
took so long, because we did probably 10 to 15 minutes of background research before. We looked at their websites, we looked at their social media profiles, got to know them a little bit.
Got to know their businesses a little bit.
Their businesses a little bit. Okay, what are the different revenue streams that we can see as an outsider? What are the things that they can improve upon? And so that part was really valuable, because then we're filming basically like 8 to 15 minute replies to each person saying, here's exactly what we would do to tackle the goals that you want to achieve. And here are maybe some things in BuyOurFuture that can get you there. We didn't try to hard sell them. We just really wanted to show them that we're invested in actually getting them results. And that's a huge differentiator for BuyOurFuture, is like, we're not interested in just like putting up a buy button and having people, send us money passively. No, like, we love selling this because we love helping entrepreneurs. And aspiring entrepreneurs. So we wanted to have that come through in the video reply, which is why we spent so much time and why, all day we basically got 13 done.
Yeah, and just to break down the process a little bit, just to give you a little bit behind the scenes, maybe you're interested and you want to do something like this. So we emailed people, they wrote back. We did
that email was like a broadcast email. It was like in our email pitch sequence.
We did. We got the answers back in their reply. We did some creep stalking on their websites and social media. We actually then wrote some notes specifically about what we could do to help those people. I'm not going to necessarily show you a name, but like broken down by section were the people and the specific products that could help them.
Also, remember, if you have like an email system built in, look those people up to make sure that like, we have a tagging system built in, so we knew what products they had already purchased of ours, what things they had already read when they became a subscriber, so that we can speak to that in there. In the video reply, so that we can say, you can tell my brain is fried.
Yeah.
But we could say, I know you already have the Make Money Making workshop. Here's what we would recommend going back through that. Anyway, that's just an additional tip.
Then just recorded through QuickTime, just like this on my Mac. Had this fancy mic that I plugged in so the audio would sound better, because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist with that, even though it doesn't sound perfect, but it's all right. We sat here where we got some pretty good light. Right now, the light is a little rough because the shadows and everything. Don't worry about it. We did a good job throughout the day. And then we actually didn't really edit those videos, just chopped the ends so that it was clean beginning and end. uploaded those to Wistia. We have a little Wistia account we use for video hosting. We had a BuyOurFuture page that I had created that was a template that had a video and text underneath it. And so each video reply actually lives on a BuyOurFuture page, so that if people are interested in BuyOurFuture, which they are if they're replying to these emails, they get that reply in that ecosystem. And one thing Caroline mentioned earlier today was like, let's just upload it to Google Drive and send it to them. And that's fine, that's a good, but high touch. We want this to feel like a super custom thing. So even the URL is their name, which who does that? And I think that those are the little things that stand out for people. And we already know, because we, as of recording this, we have done 14 replies. I think we probably have somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 more to do. And one person bought.
Yeah.
So really, one day's worth of work sold one BuyOurFuture spot for us, and someone's really excited, which is even more kind of enthralling for me, is that they're not only just buying because like, oh, okay, cool. They're like, oh, this is awesome. I'm really pumped.
And we've gotten replies back from a lot of those people saying, this is incredible. I didn't expect this level of in-depth. Like, I'm going to talk it over. I'm going to do this. So who knows, what that will kind of convert to or whatever. But really, it just feels good for us, because I told him, like, it's very draining, but this is the kind, like, this is why we have BuyOurFuture, because this is the stuff we love to do. I love looking at everyone's businesses and thinking of it like a puzzle. And just going back to what you were saying, also putting yourself in the mindset of the person who's a potential buyer. That was really what sold me on putting it on the custom page, because it's like, all right, if I'm getting this reply, I don't want to have to go remember, like, what's the URL? Where do I buy again? There's a buy button right under the video embedded in the page. So that makes it a really great buying experience for that person. And of course, they know that we put time into it and that we really care about them. And that speaks to the quality of all our products.
And it's an interesting thing for us to do this exercise, test this assumption of this idea, and think forward and go, I wonder if we could do this on a consistent basis, because we like it. It was really fun to dig into these people's websites. And truth be told, we replied to a couple people going, I don't think BuyOurFuture is going to be the thing to help you. One specific person has a hair care product, and we basically said, if you have $2,000 to spend right now, and it's either BuyOurFuture or packaging design for your product, go with packaging design, because we think you need that more than you need us and the stuff that we have. We'd love to take your money, but we want to help people more than we care about getting money from them. So
yeah, and we just have a deep belief, that just speaks to our values, but also, like, I think that stuff pays dividends in the future. Of if that person does do the packaging design and it works really well for their business, then they have the money to reinvest in BuyOurFuture in the future. That stuff comes back around. If you actually say what you're going to do and do what you say, then I think that just is like good business karma.
Okay, we're gonna take a question from the audience, you guys listening, reading, watching. This one's from Brant Reader, and this one actually got some attention from his question. A bunch of people said, like, me too, I agree with this. So Brant, good question. And it was, what's your biggest worry or fear when it comes to selling? And Brant said, not providing enough value. Product isn't good enough, won't meet their expectations.
Who struggles with this?
I don't. Only because I'm a robot. So yes. I'll start with this one on the why this doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
This doesn't bother me because I want to test every assumption that I have before counting myself out. So I want to put that product in front of someone, the best version of it that I can create, and have them tell me that it was crap. And then once I know that it's crap, I can then go back and fix it, learn how to change that, but I'm not going to count myself out before I even give myself a chance to succeed. And I know that most people are not wired that way, so I'm acknowledging that that is a unique thing to me. I'll let Caroline talk about how she deals with this.
Yeah, this is a real thing that I have struggled with over the entire course of me building products online.
Is this imposter syndrome, by the way? Is this like a loose
little bit, yeah, a
here?
little bit saying like, oh, I don't have what it takes to actually help this person with what I'm promising. But so what I have learned the hard way through this is I throw everything at the kitchen sink in my products. I overstuff them with value and all of these things because I am so terrified of someone being like, this wasn't what I expected. And I've done that enough times to know, that it is a recipe for burnout. It is a recipe for spending so much time into something that then doesn't sell, maybe because the idea is flawed or the audience isn't quite right. And like Jason said, then you've based all of these assumptions on like throwing all of this stuff into this product because you're afraid that it's not enough value. So you're like, and bonus this, and interviews, and 3 extra modules, and all this stuff. And really all you're doing is trying to protect yourself from the fear of someone saying no or someone not buying. And then what happens is it could be something super simple just about the product market fit, and then you've wasted all this time like overstuffing a product. So I have learned that the hard way, and I have learned that it's not the end of the world if you do a product, as long as you say to yourself, usually it helps me to give myself a time frame to create it and say, I'm going to only put as much value in here as I can that delivers on my promise and that allows me to finish it in these 2 weeks or whatever I have to finish it. So giving yourself those boundaries is helpful. And then saying, I'm going to let people, like Jason said, tell me if it delivers that benefit. Also, launching to like a beta group really helps with that, because then you go, oh, it's not as scary. And then if really I am missing something, like if there's a big blind spot in this product that maybe I'm not delivering on the value that I said I was, these beta testers are going to tell me that, and then you can go out and sell it. So giving yourself that beta group before you actually go out and publicly launch something is going to help you be able to sell it confidently, and know that it's going to actually provide the value because you have real feedback.
Yeah, I think the most important thing you can do here, if this is a thing you deal with, is to build what we like to call the smallest, best version of your thing. So maybe that's an MVP, but it is to create the version that you can create with the least amount of time, the least amount of features, the least amount of stuff, then put it in the hands of actual customers, not your mom, not your friends, not people who aren't a customer, but have actual people look at it, maybe pay a hugely discounted price, whatever that may be, and let them tell you that it wasn't enough. Let them tell you where the gaps and holes were, and be open to that. Know that you are in the phase where you are going to get criticism, you are going to get feedback, and be a sponge with it. And then you get to decide as the creator, oh, does it need those things? Or do I not want to build that? That's too much stuff.
Yep.
I don't want to do that. Now I'm going to abandon that project. I'm going to move on to something else.
And remind yourself that, let's just play this scenario out for a second. Let's say you're creating a digital product. Let's say you put the lessons in it that you want to teach something, and someone comes back and says, hey, I actually feel like there was this huge area missing from this and I want my money back. And you say, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry that you were disappointed. I'm happy to offer you your money back, or I would love to spend the next week and record that lesson for you and put it into the product. And then so fine, if they ask for a refund, that's okay. You can't make everyone happy. You've learned an important piece of feedback. Like, the world didn't end because that person asked for their money back, but chances are they're probably going to say, oh, that's cool. That'd be great. Like, yeah, you're really responsive. Like, you really care about your students or your customers. You're willing to make it right. You're willing to fulfill on that promise. And you just say, hey, thanks a lot for pointing out that blind spot. I was really close to this while I was creating it, so you gave me a really great point of feedback. So play that scenario out in your head and just say, is it really that bad? And then go, what's worse? Like, never creating the thing, never selling the thing?
Yep, and it's just going to take you doing it. That's all it really is, and then you'll get better at that over time. The imposter syndrome will slowly whittle away. For some people, it whittles away quickly. For me, it went very quickly. For you, it's taken more time, but now you've actually gotten to the place where I've watched over the course of the past couple of years, you don't really have it anymore.
I have reverse imposter syndrome.
Which is
I think
great.
I can fix everything.
Which is great. That's a great place to be, because
then,
you're just confident in your work and what you can do. So.
And that just comes from creating a lot of things.
Yep. All right, that's it for this video journal. 2 little action-packed parts of it, plus we are just brain fried, like I said.
We're going to take a small break.
We have 3 days left of our little launch here, so we'll be excited to share how that's gone. We'll share final numbers and everything after the launch is done, and we hope you've enjoyed learning some of our launch techniques, our selling kind of tactics, if you will. And if you have questions or comments, leave them on YouTube, go to Twitter.
And if you are on our email list and you haven't opened today's email...
No, the deadline was 3 p.m. They don't get an extension. No. You didn't take action. You didn't take action. No, you can do it if you want.
You can do it if you want.
All right, thanks for watching.